Yes, I'm hurting, yes, I'm jaded. Most of the things I don't wanna say. I wanna be around while you chase. You know you love when you make it. You try and come back when you fail. I always want you to, but
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Lala and you're watching Lala Level Up. Before we get into the video, make sure that you like, share the video with anybody you may know, and comment. But most importantly, make sure you like and subscribe if you don't do anything else, okay? Thank you. So today's story time, as you can see by the title, is going to be very much young and dumb, okay? So yeah, I've been wanting to tell y'all this story time for a little minute, but I'm gonna wait for the right time where I feel like telling it, right? This story time is about the time where I hit a cop and I went to juvie. I went to a juvenile detention center because of it. And this was dumb. Like, I do not, like, what's the word? Encourage anybody to do what I did, but I'm gonna share my story and tell you what I did, why I did it, when it happened, and all the details and my experience while I was in a juvenile detention center. So without further ado, let's get into it. Y'all, it is so cold up in my house. I put the heat on, but like, oh my gosh, it's still like taking a little minute to heat up. So I'm here, I got my blanket. I do have my wine, of course, because what is a good juicy story time without my glass of Pinot Noir? So this story time took place when I was about 16 or 17 years old. I want to say I was junior in high school, if I'm not mistaken. How the situation really occurred was, at this time I was living with a family member who had a mental illness, and at the time they had to go to the hospital. So the police was called, well, the ambulance was called, and anytime you call an ambulance, a police car, or it just comes with an ambulance, it's just, you getting one, you're gonna get the other. If you're gonna get an ambulance, the police are gonna come too. It's just like standard protocol, right? So my family member ended up going to the hospital. I was at the house with my two other sisters at the time. They both were leaving, and it was just myself who was left in the house. So I left my house and I was starting to walk up the street to my then girlfriend's house. She probably lived like 3 minutes away. Like, walking, it was nothing. 5 minutes, right? I start walking to her house, right? Because I'm stressed out. Like, you know, the police and the ambulance were just at my house. It was this big old meltdown with my family member. So emotions are high. Like, I'm feeling pretty sad. And all I want to do is just go to my girlfriend's house. I just want to see her and feel her embrace and just, like, forget about this crazy day. The police car that came with the ambulance started to follow me. He was trying to get my attention and was trying to tell me to stop walking because he wanted to talk to me. But I did not want to talk to this police officer because I was upset considering the circumstance, and I know my rights, and I know I don't have to talk to him because there's no reason to. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not under investigation, whether I'm emotional or not. Like, I don't have to stop and talk to you. And I knew that even as a kid. Like, I just knew, like, I don't have to talk to you. This ended up aggravating the police officer because you know how cops are. Like, if they're authority figures. If they don't get their way, like, they're mad as fuck and they're gonna cause a fucking scene, because police officers have this thing where it's like, if you don't treat them like a king, they're gonna treat you like shit. So that's what happened. He got really upset, and eventually I just stopped walking because I'm like, okay, like, what does he want? And you know what, too? Like, I lived in the hood. So not only did I was emotional, I didn't want to talk to him. Not only did I know my rights and I don't legally have to talk to him, but also I live smack dab in the middle of the hood. Like, everybody knows it's not a good look for you to be talking to the police. So I'm like, we in the fucking hood. I'm walking, you driving behind me. This shit look mad hot. Like, I look mad fucking suspicious right now. Like, why is you trying to talk to me? Like, this looks hot. Like, what are you doing? Leave me alone. Like, I want to go to see my girlfriend. Like, I was very much frustrated. Like, nigga, leave me alone. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? You know? So, yeah, I was tight. And then eventually I just stopped. I'm like, bro, this nigga is keep gonna continue to follow behind me. Like, I'm just gonna stop because what the fuck? Like, he keeps following me. I'm halfway down the block. So I stop. He gets out the car and he's very upset because I didn't listen to him. So he's upset. He gets out the car. He's screaming, yelling, hollering. When a police officer tells you to stop, you need to stop. You need to listen. Why do you keep walking? Why aren't you listening? And then honestly, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I low-key, high-key kind of blacked out. But from what I remember, he's like arguing with me. And then I remember I don't know what made him do this, because I didn't provoke him at this time. But he was upset with me because I didn't stop walking. So then he tried to detain me, restrain me, and tried to like put cuffs on me for no reason. And at this time, I was wearing a mini skirt. I was wearing like a short summer dress. And I was trying to pull down my dress because it kept rising up. And every time I would go to pull down my dress, the cop was trying to pull my hands so he could put the cuffs on me. But I was trying to pull down my dress because I had a thong on and my ass was showing. And there was a man who was on his porch and he was recording me. And I was trying to tell the cops this, like, I'm trying to pull my dress down. My ass is out. There's a man recording me across the street. He was not trying to hear me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to have my 16-year-old ass out. And I'm trying to pull down my skirt. I'm trying to pull down my dress. He's trying to pull my arms. I'm trying to pull down my dress. He's trying to pull my arms. And I just ended up slapping the fuck out of him. I know it ain't good, y'all. This was my past self, and I don't condone these actions, and I don't want nobody to ever do what I did. But this is what I did. And I mushed the fuck out of him, and I had fake nails on at the time, and I just mushed the fuck out of him, and I scratched him on his face. It was not good. And then he pushed me up against the hood of the cop car, like my chest was on the hood of the cop car. He brushed me up, put the cuffs on me, was talking hella shit to me while I was in the car. Behind the cop car, he was just talking so much shit to me, telling me I'm just like my family member, the mentally ill one who just went to the hospital. He was antagonizing me and just saying a lot of horrible things to me, right? So boom, I got arrested for assaulting a police officer. I'm 16, 17 years old. I was 16 at this time. I got arrested, boom. I'm in a cell, boom. The women cops end up telling me, yeah, you're gonna get out tonight. You're just gonna have to pay your bail, and then you're gonna come out tonight. You're gonna be fine. I'm like, all right, cool. It was not true. I was not fine. and I was not, it was not true. And I was not fine. And they lied to my little ass. They ended up coming back and telling me maybe like an hour or two late. Cause I was good for a minute. Like, I wasn't even crying when I was in the cell. I'm like, cool, it is what it is. I gotta deal with it. I did this, you know? I was holding up. It wasn't my first time getting arrested at that point. So I know how it feels to get arrested, take a photo, and go over in the cell. At 16, I had already experienced this. Because y'all already seen from my other story time when I got arrested when I was 13. So this was not my first go around, but it was the first time that I ever hit a police officer, which is not really a light offense. I mean, assault is never a good thing. Assault on a public offender, that was the charge. I think it was a public offender, public defender, public offender, public servant, some shit like that. Yeah, that's worse. So Yeah. So anyway, so she told me that I was gonna be able to leave. She lied. And then she came back to me and it was like, yeah, you're gonna have to go to a juvenile detention center tonight and then see the judge in the morning. I was like, what? Juvenile detention center? Judge in the morning? Like, what? Bitch. I was good the whole time. When they told me that, bitch, I just started pouring my eyes out. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck did I just get myself into? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Juvenile detention center. Bitch, do I look like a fucking juvenile delinquent? Mind you, I was a good student, grade A's, honor roll, everything good about me, but I had some emotional issues. It's not funny, but it's true. Yeah, okay. It's my accountability year. Cheers. And they told me that was gonna be the deal. So I broke down crying and I was so stressed now. So then I ended up, and you know the thing too, because it's like, okay, I didn't just hit the cop. I hit the cop because I felt like I was being disrespected. Like, my ass is showing. I'm a little girl. This man is recording me and you're not listening. So now I'm gonna mush you. I mean, it was not good of why I did it. But from my eyes, I felt justified at the time because I'm like, I did this to protect myself, like in honor of myself, to protect my own body. But none of that mattered. And when I tried to explain that to the judge at the time, I'll get there, whatever. So, okay, boom. So then I had to go to the juvenile detention center, right? So this is in the nighttime, probably like midnight too. It's mad late. The people from the detention center, they come, they pick me up, they bring me over there. I'm pretty sure I was handcuffed. They have to strip you down. It was a woman, thankfully, obviously. And she stripped me down, obviously checked me, make sure I didn't have nothing on me, any weapons, any shanks, anything like that, drugs, contraband, checked my tattoos, all of that stuff. Gave me the whole rundown, gave me some clothes to wear, gave me a crew neck sweater, jeans that were like stretchy, like nursing pants, white clog socks. It wasn't even shoes. I think we just had like hospital socks. I don't know. This was such a long time ago. So I went to bed that night and the bed was very uncomfortable. It was literally like a steel fucking bed with like 1 inch of mattress and like a thin sheet and then another sheet that was like a little bit thicker, but it was still thin. Luckily, I was in my own room. Well, cell. It wasn't even a room, it was a cell. The next day I went to go see the judge and I felt really bad because my grandparents were there for me and they saw me like handcuffed and like not only were my hands, my wrists cuffed, but my ankles were cuffed. So I had chains on my wrists and on my ankles. Like, I was dead ass a criminal. Like, that shit felt crazy. Like, I never want to feel that again. I don't know how people really be out here being career criminals. Like, go to jail mad times. Like, hell nah. Like, I did that shit once. I never want to do it again. Like, being in a detention center, like a real like jail, kid jail, whatever at the time. Fuck no. Hell nah. So yes, I had shackles on my feet, shackles on my arms. I walked in the courthouse feeling so ashamed of myself in front of my grandparents who are mad elderly, did not need to see me in that fucked up ass condition. I had to look the judge in the face and explain to the judge why. The judge didn't give a fuck why. All the judge gave a fuck about was what, not why. So it's not about why you did it, it's about what you did. And what you did was assault a police officer. So that's your charge, along with breach of peace. They were trying to throw the breach of peace up there. Then she told me that I had to go spend a week up in the juvie. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is you talking about? So then they done gave my ass a week of juvie. So I'm like, okay. So I go back to juvie, boom. I have to do a week in juvie. And I don't want to be there because I know, okay, I clearly just made a mistake. I am not a person who should be in a juvenile detention center. Wasn't like a troubled child. I don't know. I just definitely did not need to be there. I just did some dumbass shit that I didn't need to do, but I was not, like, that wasn't for me. I got cool with a couple girls there. There were girls there who, like, you know, were in foster care their whole life, or were in group homes and just been in and out of the detention center, runaways, like, just a lot of, you know, people in trauma and people who, you know, suffer with their mental health and suffer, you know, behaviorally. And come from very tough backgrounds. They also had men there too. This was actually, if you're from Connecticut, this is actually Bridgeport Juvenile Detention Center, which is crazy because then me and Bridgeport end up coming full circle later down in the line, which is interesting. And when I was in juvie, honestly, it was not even that bad. I ain't even gonna hold you. It wasn't even that bad. The food was so fucking good. Nigga, not even the food was the food was motherfucking hitting. We had a Jamaican chef and he threw the fuck down. Like, nigga, I'm not capping. I gained weight being in that bitch for 7 days. Like, I literally had to gain like 9 pounds. Like, I came back and my girlfriend's mom was like, damn, like, girl, you getting weight. You got a little chunky. I was like, I know, baby. I definitely did, because they was feeding us a lot. They gave us like 5-course meals. We had breakfast. We had snack. We had lunch. We had snack. We had dinner. We had bedtime snack. We was eating up in there. The food was good. And then breakfast, they had platter. They had a buffet. They had eggs. They had bread. They had potatoes. They had salt and pepper. They had even hot sauce. They just had an array of mad different food. And I'm just like, yo. Okay, shout out to the tax dollars paying for this shit. And yeah, taxpayers' dollars. It's a whole bunch of good ass food, right? And we had recess. I remember we went outside. Kids were playing basketball. So it was like co-ed. So half of it was women, girls, half of it was boys, children. So, but they were stayed on different sides, but there were some times that they would interact, like at recess, or sometimes watch a movie together. But we didn't eat lunch together or sleep in the same like dormitory. There was a time when we went outside and they were playing basketball, and they was really lined up on the wall talking about, locked up, they won't let me out. They won't let me out. 14, 15-year-olds. I'm like, calm down. But there were some people that were in there in a while. Like, there were some girls that I was talking to, they got to spend like 3 months in there. I'm like, goddamn. So yeah, depending on your offense, some people had stayed there for like a year. Some people only did a couple days, like me. But depends on what you was in for. But don't do the crime if you can't do the time. And then, interesting turn of events, I actually almost got into a fight in juvie. Like, what the fuck? I know, I just looked so violent. But I promise this one was not my fault, I think. So, no, it wasn't my fault. So, everything was good in juvie. Like, I had a couple, like, little friends. And okay, let me tell you just, before I tell you about the girl I almost got into a fight with, let me just tell you the routine. So we would have to wake up literally at like 4 in the morning. 4 or 5 in the morning every day. You have to wake up, do your hygiene. So they give you like a little baggie with toothbrush, toothpaste, mini deodorant, little soap, little stuff. And you have to wake up every single day and brush your teeth, wash your face, eat. And then you can come back and go to sleep for a couple hours and then wake up again and then start the day. But you couldn't go out to breakfast until everybody was done. So everyone had to get out of their bed. Everyone had to brush their teeth. Some people just didn't. It was up to you. Like, no one forces you to do your hygiene. But you should. But nobody forced you. It's like everybody had to fucking wake up, do their hygiene, and stand at the door. You can be ready, but if that one person does not get out of bed, ain't nobody gonna be walking downstairs. So some girls would be getting so fucking pissed because there's one girl, we're gonna call her Taina. There was only this one girl, Taina. She knew the routine. She had already been in the detention center a couple different times, and at this time she was probably already there for like a month and a half. She knew the routine every single day was wake up, And every single day, she would wake up and give fucking hell. Yelling, screaming, fuck this, I don't want to do this, what the fuck, but I don't want to wake up. Every day. But she know the routine every day. But I swear to gosh, I was there for 7 days. She did this for 7 days. I'm like, babes, but you know the routine every day. Yeah, so it would be like unnecessary stupid shit like that. So then we would go to eat. Then you'd come back up. You can sleep for a little bit. Then you get ready for the day. They have like things that you do throughout the day. One day they just had us watching a movie. One day that you can visit like your parents. Like they can come and visit you. One day they have I think like a church preacher come talk. Then you had a little time where you could watch TV out in the dormitory. They have TVs like, you know, mounted up that you can watch. Only certain things on TV for a certain amount of time. Then you have to go to bed by a certain amount of time. When we would walk from the dorm like to wherever else in the detention center, you'd obviously be with the correctional officer and you have to walk on the right side. You had to walk by the wall. You can't walk by the stairs because obviously it's a safety hazard. What if someone jumps on the stairs? So there's a lot of precautions you had to take. The correctional officers were really cool and really fine women. Yeah, for the most part it was okay. It was actually crazy because I actually had a guidance counselor at the jail who was the daughter of a teacher at my high school at the time. Like, it was crazy. Like, it's so crazy. And I'm like, I was like, wait, your last name sounds familiar. Is your mom so-and-so? She was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, she's an English teacher at my school. So it's just cool and funny how life just works out like that. That's why they always say you should always be good to people all the time, no matter where you are, no matter where you're from, where they're from, whatever it is, because you never know. And life has a very funny way of coming full circle because we live in a very small world. So you should always treat people good and with kindness and be considerate and understanding. There are a lot of people who are struggling and you should just always be kind. And I'm working on that too. Because I used to always be kind, and then I got a little bitter, and then I'm like trying to get back to the kindness, but I don't want to be too kind. I don't want people to take advantage of me, but I don't want to be a bitch. So I'm still trying to find my medium too. But it's best to just always be kind. I'm working my best on trying to get back at that too. But yeah, let's get into the fight I almost got into. So boom, boom, boom. We was there sitting at the table. It's like the long cafeteria table. We was in the caf. Oh, and when we would leave the caf and enter the caf, we'd have to stand on the wall, hands up to the wall, feet up, whatever the fuck, facing the wall, pat us down, doing all of this. Nigga, it was kid jail. It was still fucking jail. And they did all of that, boom. So anyway, so we're sitting at this long desk table, the long cafeteria table. Some girls on one side, I'm on the other side. It's a few of us there. Let's call her Angelina. So, Angelina, that name is too long. I ain't got time for that. Let's name her Angel. Angel was saying something about gay people. She was saying that being gay is disgusting and it's dirty and just like, she was just expressing her negative views on the LGBTQ community. Now, at this time, I was in a lesbian relationship with the love of my life at the time. And we were together for a couple of years. And I was very much like, bitch, you talking about lesbians. You talking about me. So I was like, what's nasty? She's like, gay people. And I'm like, that's not nasty. Like, all because like people love each other. Like, all because you don't agree, it doesn't mean like it's nasty. So here I go, motherfucking gay advocate, like, yeah, standing up for all gay people because I'm in the community. So I'm like, oh, like, that's not nasty. Like, you shouldn't say that about people. Like, that's not disgusting. Like, no, it's not. And she was like, yeah, it is. It's nasty. That shit is nasty. And I'm like, no, it's not. You're nasty. So then we just start going back and forth. And then she get up like she about to do something. And before anything can even happen, the COs, they don't motherfucking play. So they just threw her on the floor, restrained her, and then she had to stay in her room for like 2 days. Like, she could not leave. And I had to do that for 1 day where I was just, it's called lockdown. So I was on lockdown for 1 day. I think she was on lockdown for like 3 days because she tried to initiate violence, like actual something physical. And I was just antagonizing her because I was just like, you just mad because you ain't here another 3 months and I leaving in 2 days. Which is really fucked up because that's a fucked up feeling to know you got to be in there another 4 fucking months, 3 months, and I'm leaving in 2 days and I just got there 4 days ago and you just keep seeing people coming in and out and you still in and you not out. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough. So that happened, but nothing happened. And on my last day, I ended up being set free. And I think I had to do mandatory like therapy or something when I was released. And I was very motherfucking happy because I wanted to go home and see my girlfriend and cuddle and like say fuck the system because y'all just so fucking annoying, wasting my fucking time. But I will never do no dumbass shit like that again. I'm an adult now, so obviously I learned, but still, nothing justifies that. Even if I felt like my ass was fucking out, like, honestly, I should have just took the L. I should have just took the L and been like, fuck it. If my ass is out and it ends up on World Star, I guess I gotta take it. At the time, I just couldn't conceptualize that, but as an adult, I'm like, yeah, nigga, if my ass is out, I mean, I'll be alright. At least I got it. I don't know. At least my ass looks good, but nigga, I'm 16. I don't want my ass on the internet. So, yeah, that's my story of the time that I hit a cop and I went to juvie. And then I felt bad for the cop because then when I got arrested and I took my little photo and I was in booking and shit, the police there told me that I hurt the cop and I cut him on his face. And I felt bad. Like, I didn't want to cut him. Like, looking back, like, I don't want him to go home to his wife and kid now and he's all scratched up on his face because I'm being a wild banshee because I'm trying to pull down my dress and he's trying to do his job, you know? So, yeah, you live and you learn. So, that was my crazy fucking story. Being 16 and young and dumb, man. That's all I can say. So, yeah. Learn from my motherfucking mistakes and don't do the dumb shit I did, basically. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, for being here, supporting me, supporting my channel, and being so much to me. You don't even know. And I just want to make sure that you're subscribed to my channel before you make an exit. And as always, you can be, do, and have whatever you desire. You are limitless. Until next time, LALA level up.
All